Ben & Jerry's just made a huge mistake in the midst of one of the most successful boycotts of all time in the Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch boycott. They tweeted out something anti-American on the 4th of July of all days. Let's check this out, and then we'll check out the reactions as well. Here's the Ben & Jerry's tweet right here. It says, "This 4th of July, it's high time we recognize that the U.S. exists on stolen indigenous land and commit to returning it. Learn more and take action now at benandjerrys.com. Yellow Flash says here, donate your company to Native Americans then. Give all of your property and land back to Native Americans right now then, or shut up. Their ice cream tastes like indigenous land." Pretty sure that is one of their flavors. And now look, you can let me know in the comments if I'm completely wrong on this, but pretty much every single country out there has conquered their land. Like, nobody was just born there and stayed there forever with nobody coming in to try to take the land. And if people did try to take the land, they probably did very dark things to those people as well. But most of the countries out there conquered their land, and they did very dark things to the people who were there previously. And it's no different for the people who came to America. They did dark things, no doubt, to the people who lived here, but that was a different time. That is how you conquered land. That's how you take land. That's how you lived back then. And don't think that the Native Americans, the indigenous people that were here before us, didn't do similar things, if not the same thing. You know, they definitely conquered land as well. They definitely stole land from other indigenous people, because that's just how you lived back then. There was land that you wanted, and you had to go about it in a way that you did dark things in order to conquer that land. That's just what happened. And let me know if I'm completely wrong on that. Maybe other countries did it in a very humane way. I'm pretty sure in history class I learned that they didn't do very humane things, and for some reason we celebrate conquerors like Alexander the Great and other ones like him. And yet whenever America is the one that's conquering the land, we're supposed to feel bad about it. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't feel bad about it. I'm proud that we end up, coming out on top. That's just the bottom line, man. The Critical Drinker says, "Get back to selling overpriced frozen cream." Let's check out some of the quote tweets here from Ashley St. Clair. Says, "You stole the milk from cows to make your ice cream. Checkmate." Ben Shapiro says, "Your HQ in Vermont would be a great place to start," talking about it's built on stolen land. And, they're talking about how we need to recognize that the U.S. exists on stolen indigenous land and commit to returning it. Well, I mean, they have a lot of money. Why don't they commit to returning it? Why don't they buy up a bunch of land like Bill Gates is and give it back to indigenous people? Like Ben says. Ben Shapiro said, "Your HQ in Vermont would be a great place to start." I agree. It would be a great place to start. Why does that exist there whenever it belongs to indigenous people? That's stolen land. You stole that land. Cat Turd says, "The new Bud Light is here." And that's a great point, because people are really, confident in their boycotting skills nowadays. And I think they're kind of looking for the next thing to boycott, because the Bud Light boycott has been successful. The brand has been successfully destroyed. Like, we can all stop talking about it now on social media if we wanted to. I'm not saying that we should, but if we wanted to, we don't have to talk about it anymore. The stigma is there for Bud Light. Nobody wants to buy it. Like normies, people who watch this stuff on YouTube every day, everybody across the country, if you have any kind of common sense in your head, you're not buying Bud Light right now. Nobody wants to be seen walking out of the store with Bud Light. Nobody wants to be at a sporting event drinking Bud Light at the tailgate. Nobody wants to buy Bud Light right now. And it seems like Ben & Jerry's is becoming the new Bud Light, like Cat Turd said right there. Lauren Chen says, "Shut the hell up and go back to giving people diabetes." Melanie Mack, "Oh, shut up." So you get the gist, right? The Rabbit Hole says, "Just announced the ESG flavor already." True, man. I really do wonder, and let me know in the comments once again. I wonder if raising your ESG score and getting funding from these companies like BlackRock and Vanguard and the rest of them, I wonder if it's really just that much more profitable than actually having paying customers. Like, I wonder if these boycotts are really even doing anything. Obviously, they're damaging brands. Hopefully, they're deterring other brands that aren't a part of the boycott to stay away from doing things such as Bud Light. But I just wonder why these companies continue to do this. Like, why does YouTube have these really oppressive policies if people are going to leave the platform because of it? If people are going to get banned, people are going to go over to Rumble and Kick and the other platforms. Why would YouTube have these oppressive policies? Why would Ben & Jerry's say something anti-American on the 4th of July, knowing that it's going to lose them customers, if it wasn't for the fact that, the ESG score is raising the ESG score and getting funding from these BlackRock and Vanguard and the rest of them? If it wasn't more profitable to go that route? Like, I just wonder if the boycotts even mean anything unless you can take away like 50% of sales, and, similar to what we're doing with Bud Light. Because I think if you do like 15%, if you take away 15% of their sales, I just wonder in the back of my head if the ESG scores are just more profitable, if they can really just make up for it with the funding from BlackRock and Vanguard. Because surely tanking your sales on purpose, tanking your profits on purpose is illegal. You can't do that, and the shareholders can take legal action against you if you end up doing that. And the shareholders have a right for the company to do their best to make profit. So if YouTube is making these weirdo policies, if Ben & Jerry's is saying these stupid things on 4th of July, if Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch are hiring people like Dylan Mulvaney, the shareholders have a right to say, hey, why are you doing this? Are we making more money because of this, or are we losing money? Like, why do you continue to do this over and over again? And I gotta say, man, the answer is seeming like it's just more profitable to chase ESG scores than to chase actual loyal paying customers. Jordan Peterson says, looks like someone is looking hard for a Budweiser or Bud Light moment. Carl Benjamin, where do you plan on running your business if the U.S. were to give Vermont and the rest of the United States back to the Indians? It's true. It's just a ridiculous virtue signal, and we all know it. And like I said, if I'm wrong on that conquered land part, like all the other countries conquered their land just the same as Americans did, then let me know in the comments, man. But I'm pretty sure, like in history class, I learned that other countries did very dark things when conquering their land, as well as the indigenous people that were here before us. Let me know what you're thinking in the comments about this idiotic Ben & Jerry's tweet, and what do you think about the reaction to their tweet and them, Ben & Jerry's, becoming the new Bud Light or Anheuser-Busch. Let me know what you think in the comments.